Okay, so part 2. This is the blanks. I'll put them on the side so you can see them a little bit better from that angle. So this is the 4 blanks now that we're going to make into the boxes, and if you remember, which I'm sure you actually do, it's in this design, which is a simple ring box that has a dowel in it and just a slider, but in fact the whole lid actually does come off on these. So I'm just going to be taking the same technique. I am just going to be using dowels in them. I just decided to do that. I was going to try and do fancy ones, but let's just keep it basic. So the next thing is I'm going to put them on the bench sander and see if I can try and get these flat, because as you can see where the tape was, there's some ridges and that. I think these are 120 grit. They're pretty worn, these ones that I've got on here. So anyway, I'm going to get going and start sanding. One thing I want to say, you need a mask when you're dealing with this stuff. This is not good for your lungs. So always make sure that you wear a decent mask. Okay, 4 done. So I'm just going to use this now to see if I can just get in and clear some of this bits here and just make it finish a little bit better. It's just really tidying it up. Anyway, we'll go off to the lathe now and let's get it all sanded down to, we'll go up to 400. Okay, that's the first grit done on them. Now, I'm not going to show you the rest on this because this video is getting too long. Let me just blow that camera lens because it'll take too long to do it. So I'll come back when I've finished it. I know I've speeded up quite a few times throughout this, but just try not to make it too long, but showing you everything at the same time. So I'm going to go away now. I'm going to do 240, exactly the same as that, and no, 180, then 240, and then 400, exactly the same way. Just trying to make sure that I get a good finish on it when it's done. Okay, that's them sanded down to that grit now. That was up to 400. Not too bothered if there's like light scratches in it. It's not like the jewellery where I have to have it completely crystal clear. You know, so if you can see like grooves in it, as long as it's all shining, I'm not particularly bothered. So this is the buffing system I have with the 3 wheels. The first one is a little brown mop. I got these. It was actually, I bought them. They weren't expensive. I've put the company below. What the name of them now? I can't remember what the name of them is now, but I've put them below where I got them. I think it was maybe about 30 quid for it all. But I really bought too much of this one. We didn't need that much. I mean, that'll probably last me for till my retirement, 20 years away. So this is the buffing system I've got. I also have these small little buffers which I put into the Dremel. Now on the rings I use them for the inside of the rings, but on this, if there's some that have got deep scratches, when you go back over it with this, it just makes it shine in the crack. So that's what I'll be using these bits for on that. Excuse me. So the next stage is to go through these. Okay, that's the second stage done. Delighted with them actually, they've come out lovely. That's another one of them. So that's actually perfect. I'm not going to shine them up any more than that. I'm just going to put a wax on them now, just to, the wax really just protects it. I'll set them on the side so you can just see into them there. I'm pleased with them. It's got a couple of chips on this one. Not worried about any of that though. Don't think it takes away from the look of it. And I mean, if you really wanted to, I could go back and I could clean that. Okay, that's it at the drill press. Now I've got a 6mm bit here. Each box is slightly different in height, so I'm going to have to check each time I drill to make sure I'm drilling down enough. So yeah, so I'm basically going to go down, I think it must be around about an inch. Let me get a measure. This is not ideal. Yeah, it's not far off, maybe just slightly above an inch there. I'm going down. Now the dowel is going to be tight going in, so I'm going to actually need to sand the dowel, but I could just do that by hand and just sand it until it fits in. So anyway, here goes. Let's hope it just doesn't all go to pot here. I am not marking it, I'm just going to put a rough mark here as to where it's going to go. Just like that. Can't actually see it too far down there. So I'm going to go and do the same on all four, and then we'll come back to the next part that we've got to do. Okay, this is the bandsaw here. It's a SIP 10-inch heavy duty bandsaw I've got. Now this was second hand, didn't buy this new. I've never particularly bought a bandsaw from new, and the cutting depth on this is a maximum of 5 inches. I think it's 72.5 is the blade length for this. It's a small bandsaw. This is the one that I cut all my boxes on. I've put a brand new blade on this morning. Now I buy all my blades in the UK from a place called Tough Saws. I've made hundreds of bandsaw boxes, and these are the best blades I've used. They last the longest, break the least, and they're just such a reliable blade to use. So that's what I use. Never go with, and this is not from experience, but never go with the blade that comes with a company. If you buy a record bandsaw, don't use record blades, because they're not that great. And it's the same with any company. I find Axminster the same. You might find different, but for the work that I'm doing, like I say, I've made hundreds of boxes with really tight curves and everything, and for that type of work, Tough Saws is the best. Anyway, I put a new blade on this morning, and the first thing I've just done is, I don't have any tension guides. I basically go by my own feeling around the bandsaw. And let me just click that off a second, the electricity. I have a little bit of play. You should only have 1/4 of an inch either side. I have no more than that. The guide's stopping it moving anymore. I can switch the electrics back on now. So that's how I set it up. Keep it clean inside, and I don't always do that. And then when I put a brand new blade on to take my tension and everything, this is how I do it. I just go in and do a nice little tight curve, because that cleans the blade for me, because it has like an oil residue on it. So it cleans the blade, and I know that my tension's right because of that. And also it gives me my line of my blade, and I tend to know that I do use, right, let me hold on. So I just use these little things to check my blade. I do have another one that marks at the bottom and the top, and I use the same for the side to check that it's sitting actually correctly on it, which it is. So that's how I check mine out. My guides as well, I probably have about 2 mil either side, and that one is actually a little bit far back from what I normally do, but I usually have it 2 or 3 millimeters behind. I don't mind a bit of play on my blade, but if you talk to professionals, they say not, but I quite like it because it helps me get my curves, gives me a bit of a push that I can push on there, and the blade will have that little bit more room. If I have the guides in too much, my blade will break. That's just in my experience. So the next thing I need to do is, obviously all the holes are done now, but this is, it's got a little bit of a diagonal on it. So first of all, I need to try and get some wedges. I'll probably just use little wood wedges, and I might just hot glue it in the bottom. I'll probably just go and tear some wedges off here, get it lined up to the blade, hot glue it on, and then I'll be able to run it through at the front for cutting. I'll make a couple of little wedges to show you what I'm doing. Right, so I'm going to be lining it up with the blade. So if I see that, no you can't, I'll do it this side. So I've got the blade there. So, and now if I had it like that, you can see there's quite a bit of an angle on that. So I need to lift this bottom piece up. So I could just sit the wedge underneath until I get it lined up. I shall dab a bit of hot glue on that, and that is me ready for cutting the box now. I've got it at the angle that I need to have it. So I'll go away and hot glue this, and then I'll come back. Okay, that's the little wedges put in. Now, it's very difficult to see on this for marking it, and I would really like it to be as even as possible, so I've actually just used a Sharpie on it. I might live to regret that and end up sanding it all, but I've put the line in with Sharpies, got the little wedge in place, and now we're ready to start cutting through. So this will be the base, and obviously this will be the lid. This will come off here now, no problem, with the hot glue on it. Okay, that's me at the drill press. I've got, move this bag, very cramped in here. 1.5 inch Forstner bit here, which is what I use for the ring part for the base. Now, I actually put them on a bench sander, these bits, just to flatten them off, and I will be putting them, I'm going to give them a little polish. I don't think I'm going to be sanding them, but I'm going to give them a little polish once this is done. I won't be able to get to the inside, but let me put these on. I think it will look better if I give it a polish. Just, I don't know, maybe I'm just fussy. So I've also put the dowel in. I had to sand the dowels down, and I've got them fitting nice and tightly in there now. You can get dowel from the likes of B&Q and stuff like that, or you can make your own. There is machines, but I buy mine for the small amount I use. So yeah, so that's the lids, and like I say, I'm going to put them on the buffing wheel and just give them a little polish. Not only that, it coats the wood as well on these. This is the bead one I've got here, which is the smallest box of them all. The one with the dice, sorry, I keep reaching over behind. The one with the dice, by God, they like burnt. They were horrible to cut, as you can see there, that mark. But it's sort of like melting them. So I'm not going to be doing any more with that. I will basically just try and give it a polish and clean it up, because the smell that come off them is awful. So now basically, and we will have this problem with the Forstner bit, putting it in as well, it'll burn a lot, so I'll be doing that one last. Now I hold my stuff in place here with a clamp. I've got the clamp against the metal at the back there so that it can't twist, because it'll want to twist this way, but I've got it clamped nice and tight in here because I don't have a vice held in there. Clean that off. Very decorative, eh? I need to go back into there. No, that's that perfect. So that's that, with the little dowel hole there and the main hole for the ring. that's me done now. I've got the dowel in the top already. I've just to glue that in place. Just a dab of any old glue that I use in here, and then that's just ready really. I'll give it a little polish on the inside and a little bit of a clean up just to wipe down and stuff, and maybe just run the buffing wheels just back over it for the final polish around the edges there, and then I'll come back at the end and show you them all done. Okay, that's the last one then. That's one there. I'll come back to that one in a minute because it was a nightmare. The pencil one. The beads. I should put moss in these like I do in the other ones. And the rings. This one also does glow in the dark, which I'll post some pictures up of that at the end. So anyway, that's the 4 different ones. This one, I wouldn't buy the dice again. I've still got a black mark on there. That should actually just wipe off. I wouldn't buy the dice again just purely because of the burning and the chip out. They were like flying saucers. I lost one there. They basically flew out when I was using the router bit, but it's very effective all the same. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I am going to try and cut it down as much as possible because there's hours of filming in this today. I've virtually been at these 4 all day, but I'm going to try and cut it right down for you. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed something a little bit different and a little bit unique. If you like what you see, give me the thumbs up. If you don't, give me the thumbs down. Yes, with my sellotape holding my cut together. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please press that button, and there's a little bell next to it. If you press that, you'll be notified when new videos come up. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall follow with some pictures.